Hey MGTOWs, this is Vention. I'm sitting here overcome with fatigue again, friggin' cancer. But that is not the subject I wanted to discuss. I just finished watching a Voice of Reason's, the Voice of Reason's most recent video over on Library. Most people watch him on Odyssey, but I think I'll link to him in like a pinned comment or something. See if YouTube allows it. The way he was talking, you know, about all the crap that's coming down, the passports for vaccines, and the fact that that the majority of the population has been othered and demonized, kind of like what happened in World War II in Germany. But in any case, they pick a group that they want to demonize, and then they can attack them and harvest their wealth and do all kinds of nasty shit. But the thing is, well, this time around, here at least, we are in the tremendous majority. So, you know, the people of European descent. So it's not going to be as easy. Over in the whole Germany thing, the population that they demonized was quite the minority. But what I wanted to say was don't despair. We have some nasty shit coming down, sure, but we basically also, and the whole, so much of the population has just been totally brainwashed. They're a bunch of MSNBC watchers now. And they have this mental software that is totally at odds with reality. And they are in lockstep with the lockdown of the society and everything. But we're going to be having all kinds of nasty things happening. But the thing is, we've got to change our attitude toward this whole thing. We've got to look at it less like a toe-to-toe battle and more like a hack, you know, like a hacker looks at software. Basically, those people who tried to go toe-to-toe with the feds, for example, ask David Koresh of, I think it was Idaho or Montana, and ask, Randy Weaver of Idaho or Montana, I can't remember which, or David Koresh of the Branch Davidians down in the South somewhere. But they both went toe-to-toe with the feds, and it cost them basically their lives. Either they were killed or they are in prison for fucking ever, right? ask Snowden, and the people like the guy who ran the WikiLeaks, what the heck was his name? Anyway, the WikiLeaks guy, geez, what the heck was his name? It's not Snowden, it's something else. But in any case, he has just been thrown in prison and he's just there. And look at the people who went to the protest in D.C. Some of those people are still in solitary confinement. Others have been thrown in, and it's been circulated that they are racists, and then they were beat up by the minority population in the prisons, right? So basically, the people who try to go toe to toe with the feds lose, right? So we're going to have to look at this whole problem in a different way. We're going to have to look at it like less like a toe-to-toe battle, because the battle for control of the country has been lost. Conservatives have been so busy working that we've been asleep while the leftists have taken over education of the young and universities and government and the jobs that are non-productive and things that only losers go into, basically. And the result is we we are monetarily successful for the most part, but we have failed to keep control of the society. And now basically the leftists and the totalitarian forces which control the leftists, now they rule, right? And they have control of the police and the military and all that stuff. And they're making the military unpleasant for normal guys by, turning up the volume on the homosexuality and stuff so that good red-blooded American men won't want to be there. Then we will have a bunch of basically pansies running the military, and they will have no problem following the orders of the leftist governments, whatever leftist government's in charge of the country. So yes, the battle for the country has been lost. But that doesn't mean, but basically leftist governments tend to live for a while and then die, right? And I suspect, there are some holdovers that, for example, what North Korea is being shored up by China, and because nobody dares attack them because they're so close to China. China would throw troops in there too. And then there's, of course, other countries, but in any case, in larger situations like this, especially with the currency and everything, it doesn't look like it's going to last forever. So what we need to do is take away some of the emotion and the anger and the rage we rightfully feel, and we're going to have to pull the whole country out and put it on the workbench, take it apart, and see what options we have, right? We can't afford to try to go toe-to-toe with the feds. Ask David Koresh about that. Oh, that's right, we can't. He's dead. But we can use the fact that we are so small and practically irrelevant compared to the feds, that and the feds are generally just lazy, so they generally don't want to spend a lot of time and a lot of work on people who don't appear, um, who are basically irrelevant, right? So I suspect our best bet is to become irrelevant. So we can do that, and we can do this. It'll be sort of like a conflict between us and the feds. It's more like we can't go toe to toe with a boxing match, but we might be able to use a little judo. And like when they basically have this gigantic fist to beat like 10,000 people at once, right? We can like sort of fade back and move to the side while our less intelligent brethren are trying to fight the feds toe to toe and basically lose, whereas we can sort of fade into the background and become invisible. And that is sort of I consider that sort of a MGTOW way of handling the situation. Don't don't uh, don't don't try to like charge into the divorce court with the guns ablazing, because that's the end of you. Instead, just don't get married in the first place, And there will be things like vaccine passports, but the bureaucracy is big, complex, and stupid, right? And chances are these vaccine passports will just be issued by doctors when they give you the vaccine, right? So we've all got inkjet printers, and it wouldn't be hard to sort of print one of those puppies out. And then the people, the sheeple who check these passports, even if they do, they don't give a shit. So, so basically anything that looks vaguely like a vaccine passport, he'll just look at it and go, okay, and pass you through, and you'll be able to get on the plane or do whatever, and then there's other ways of handling the situation. I'm planning on sort of fading into the background. As much as I like the zero income tax of Washington State, I think I might have to leave and possibly head for like maybe Montana in the summer and Florida in the winter, assuming cancer lets me do it. Because right now I'm feeling some significant fatigue, but I'm powering through the day. I'm getting some shit done, but I just collapsed into this reclining outdoor chair because I'm pretty pooped, and I could use a rest. But in any case, so don't despair for what's coming up. Look at it like a problem, Try to keep your anger and emotion out of it, and look at it more like a problem, a logic problem. How are we going to best deal with this problem without with the least amount of pain and anguish and trouble and expense on our part? How will we live our best lives in spite of what's going on. Some of us will opt to flee the country, and I could do that. Problem is, I can't get half of the meds that I need when I'm in Mexico, so I have to come back every 3 months to restock my meds. So basically, that's a problem for me, but that's just a problem for me. Other people might not need a lot of meds, and they might be able to get to live just fine in Mexico. So we can look at this like a logic problem. When the feds, if you do catch their attention, oftentimes the first thing they do is attack your money. So they can do things like mess with my bank accounts and shit like that, but they can't take my money because it's all in, well, the vast majority of it's in Bitcoin, and then I've got a little bit of Ethereum as well. And even if they did take, like if I did lose my bank account, I could still turn around and purchase gift cards with Lightning Network Bitcoins and buy all the Amazon stuff I needed. But getting cash could be a problem. So basically, yeah, there you go. But there's this market in Amazon gift cards that you can turn around and sell and get money for. And so I would be able to do something like that until I could reestablish some kind of checking or banking services. But yeah, if you become unbanked, that could definitely be a problem. So researching being unbanked and living without a bank account might be worth doing right about now. So yeah, all I can say is just keep your eyes open. Don't despair. Don't get angry, because when you're in despair or under strong emotion or anger or rage or even joy, you're not thinking. So your best bet is to try to keep emotion out of it as much as possible and look at it as a logic problem, and then you will have the best chance of getting living your best life, even with the challenges that are coming up. So yeah, that's about all I have to say about that. Yeah, nasty business, all this stuff. And of course, some people will have to get the jab in order to keep their jobs, in which case they can blend in just fine because they'll have a real vaccine passport, right? But then again, there will be, once these vaccines are done, then there will be more vaccines and more vaccines, and on top of that, so when will it end? Probably never. About when your face just peels off your skull and falls to your feet because of your how many vaccines you've gotten. And there's already health problems that people are having that the media is not sharing, obviously. They're just as silent about that as they are with Biden's most recent flubs and screw-ups in the big international meeting they just recently had. What was it, the G7? The guy can barely even string a sentence together. It's pathetic. So anyway, yeah, and the media totally silent about that. Although the world media is probably laughing their asses off at us. Oh well, Shit happens. So, yeah, that's about all I got for you. And don't get married. Keep your eyes open. Keep your emotions down, and don't get married.